Once in a vibrant neighborhood bustling with life and colors, there lived a young black man named Mazwi. From a young age, Mazwi had a deep love for music and art. His room was adorned with canvases splashed with brilliant hues, and his headphones were often filled with the melodies of jazz, hip-hop, and the soft strums of acoustic guitar. But Mazwi's real passion was not only in creating art or listening to tunes. It was in the way these passions fueled his ambitions and shaped his outlook on life. While many of his peers were entangled in the distractions of social media, video games, and the latest trends, Mazwi made a conscious decision. He focused on honing his talent, using every spare moment to paint or practice his guitar. In the early mornings before the sun began to break, he'd wake up, brew a pot of coffee, and immerse himself in his creations, losing track of time as melodies intertwined with colors in his imaginative mind. Mazwi had his struggles. His family faced financial hardships, and there were days when despair threatened to creep in. The reality of his circumstances was heavy, but instead of letting it weigh him down, he transformed that weight into fuel. Every brushstroke on canvas was a release. Every chord strummed was a declaration of hope. He wanted to rise above. He wanted to be a voice for his community. One afternoon, while setting up for an open mic night at a local community center, he met an elderly man named Baba Dimba. The man had spent years encouraging young artists and musicians, and he recognized the fire in Mazwi right away. "You've got a spark, son," Baba Dimba said with a warm smile. "Use it to light up the world." With Baba Dimba's mentorship, Mazwi learned not just to create, but to channel his experiences into meaningful expressions. He poured his heart into a series of paintings that told his story, stories of resilience, of hope, of dreams that refused to die. Each piece was accompanied by a song that echoed the sentiment, and soon he had enough works to hold his own exhibition. The day of the exhibition arrived. The community center buzzed with excitement, filled with neighbors, friends, and families who had come to support one of their own. As the lights dimmed, Mazwi stepped forward, heart pounding, and shared his journey through art and music. His voice trembled at first, but grew stronger as he sang and recited poetry inspired by his experiences. The colors he painted danced across the walls, and the melodies swirled around the room, leaving the audience captivated. Each piece resonated deeply, touching hearts and igniting a hopeful spirit among those who listened. By the end of the evening, Mazwi had not only shared his art, he had created a ripple of inspiration within his community. People began to share their stories, discussing aspirations, dreams, and the connections that tied them together. The young man who had once struggled in solitude was now a beacon of hope for others, a reminder that passion could lead to change. Months passed, and Mazwi's work began to gain recognition beyond his community. He received invitations to showcase his art and perform in neighboring cities. Each time he stepped onto a new stage, he carried the weight of his community's dreams with him, honoring Baba Dimba's belief in him. He established workshops for young artists and musicians in his neighborhood, wanting to ignite the same passion he had found in himself. Mazwi inspired those around him to tap into their own creativity, teaching them that distractions could easily cloud their path, but focusing on their true passions could illuminate the way. Years later, standing before a large audience at an art festival, Mazwi looked back at the journey that had brought him here. He was no longer just the boy in a small neighborhood. He had become a celebrated artist, a musician, and a mentor. He realized that true success wasn't measured by fame or fortune, but by the lives he touched and the dreams he helped others fulfill. With each note played and every brushstroke made, Mazwi embodied what it meant to be addicted, not to distractions or the noise of the world, but to the beautiful symphony of passion that fueled his life. And in sharing that addiction with the world, he had lit the way for many others to follow.